it's time to do it again. Yeah. Gorilla Faith. Ooh, I've been telling mountains move, get out my way. Ooh, I've been knocking down demons like a heavyweight. The roar of a lion, Judah, boom, baby. I'm talking real big, yeah. I got gorilla faith. Even if I fall, I'll never hit the ground. I'm so high, you can never bring me down. And even if my enemies surround me, I'm not afraid. I ain't the mustard seeds. I got gorilla faith. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. Yeah, yeah. I never thought I would fall, but I keep coming back. Hit you with the left hook, oh, and I'ma keep fighting back. And you can't find nobody that's realer, cause I got faith like a gorilla. Oh, my faith is super strong, stronger than crazy glue. And you keep amazing me, that's why I keep praising you. And I just be getting stronger, and life has been getting harder. The MJ of gospel, I moonwalk on the water. Ooh, I've been telling mountains move, get out my way. I've been knocking down demons like a heavyweight. The roar of a lion, Judah, boom, baby. I'm talking real big, yeah. I got gorilla faith. Even if I fall, I'll never hit the ground. I'm so high, you can never bring me down. And even if my enemies surround me, I'm not afraid. I ain't the mustard seeds. I got gorilla faith. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. I've been changing this game. I've been doing it for a minute. While you're out here talking, we get out here living. We get out in them streets. We been saving them souls. You ain't about that life, but if you want, let's go. I was beating my fist on my chest as I was making the sound. Gorilla faith. Yeah, boy, I'm a King Kong. I sing songs, I win songs. 50,000, I'll slay 'em whole. With the power of the Holy Ghost, increase the faith, my only goal. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith.
I'm having faith for real. I'm having faith. Got a meal on my plate for real. So I say my grace. Cause I know the enemy work. So I gotta pray. I need flavor pack. I gotta get thanks. Gotta get thanks to the Most High. I'm going to heaven when I die. Got an angel with me, we gon' pop out. Holy go flow, what you talking about? Shout out to Angela Robert. She a big dog at my mama. Just wanna tell her I love her. I give him praise cause I love him. Amen.
I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is a simple chorus. It says this. Oh, my soul will bless the Lord and all that is within me. Oh, my soul will bless the Lord and all that is within me. Say, hey. My soul will bless the Lord and all that is within me.
the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon, and WDDO 980 AM,
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwinnett, Westbrook, and Mr. Dumas.
Good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. I'm glad you've joined us this evening. We should be joined shortly by President Westbrooks by way of Skype. I hope you had a great weekend. This is the holidays. We're celebrating the holidays all across the country, all across this community. And I tell you, I've been going from event to event this past week. And seems like it never stops, but it's all so good to fellowship with various people. If you haven't done so, also I would encourage anyone to go downtown and experience the lighting that they have downtown. It puts you in a festive mood, and it's such a beautiful sight for the city to see all those beautiful lights once it turns dark downtown. Also, you know, with it turning dark, darkness lifts its head as well. So we got to be careful as it relates to crime. Crime always has an uptick around the holidays. And so you got to do your part to be safe and to be diligent, making sure that you're using good safety habits. Don't leave your purses or any belongings on your seats in your cars. Make sure they're not visible. So that it doesn't entice criminal behavior, because a lot of that takes place around this time. I myself, I've been very busy over the weekend, attending various benefits and those kinds of things. One of the shout outs I want to give in particularly was the caregiver benefit that was held in Forsyth this weekend. They were acknowledging caregivers and the dedication that they give to serving those who are in need. I see President Westbrooks has joined us. President Westbrooks, good evening, and how are you?
Hello, everyone.
I see you're still on.
I am doing good.
Wonderful.
Busy as ever.
Absolutely. This is a busy time of the year. We don't, along with the holidays and all the things that come with it, it doesn't stop people from having issues, and it doesn't stop people from having injustices done. And so we have to stay on the fight. So
on the battlefield.
Yeah,
yes.
I know last week we were talking and we didn't get to really finish up our conversation on some events and some things that are happening here locally. And if you wanted to jump right in on addressing some of those things we were talking about, we can move forward.
Yes, we were talking about, you know, the Medicare, the increase for this year. We want people to, you know, be aware of that. The increase on Medicare, there was a 2.3% raise for
Social Security,
for people that are receiving Social Security, Social Security disability, and also people that are receiving supplemental security income, which is SSI. There was a 2.3% increase, so you should be seeing that on your check in January. I don't know, and I didn't see where there was an increase in the Medicare premium, but we want people to be aware, like we were saying last week, that there are, depending on what your income is, there are programs out there that is able to help you with that Medicare premium. And for example, some people are receiving Social Security, but their income, they may be receiving $900 a month, and they're taking the $174.50 out of your check, where you may qualify for benefits to help you with that premium, which they'll put that money back in your check, and the state would actually pay those benefits for you. But you can apply for that through the Department of Family and Children Services, uh, for those type of benefits. Sometimes, depending on your income, Medicaid comes with it, with that, with the when they do the Medicare premiums for you. So we encourage people to take advantage of that. $174 could actually, help you every month
Absolutely.
with other things that you may need to do for as far as medication. So we're asking people to take advantage. And as you know, Mr. Dumas, when I worked in as a social worker, worked and then I worked at the medical center. Those things like that. It's been some years since I worked there as now H and Health, but those things, that those types of knowledge, and it follows you. And I keep, we have to keep abreast and keep updated on the new laws and the different types of benefits that are available for people, because we want people to be able to take advantage of things that gonna be able to better, better their health care, their ways of living, because we people and people don't look at it. And I had some people to tell me, actually, when I was telling them about this, they heard us on the radio, and the Social Security supplement security income, which is normally for people who have never worked before. You know, you know, in 2023, it was raised to the $920. So you have people who have never worked before, and most of the time sometimes people have never worked before. Sometimes children get this because they have never worked before and they were able to receive this supplement security income. And sometimes other people receive it as a supplement to their Social Security. So you got some people, people was telling me, it's some people who've never worked before, but they're able to get the 920. And you got people who have actually worked before. Social Security is not even that much. But at the same time, that's where this supplemental security income, it can actually supplement your Social Security and bring you up to um, the full amount. And so that means that you're actually living below the poverty level. People think that $920 is a lot of money, but you're actually living below the poverty level when you're receiving supplemental security income. So they will also be receiving a 2.3 increase, and I think it's somewhere maybe around $50. It just depends.
Right.
But at the same time, like I said last week, they're gonna cut the benefits down. If you're receiving snaps of benefits of food stamps, everything affects everything. So how can you get ahead? You get a raise in one area, and then they decrease your benefits and snaps that you use to buy. So then you got to try to figure out, you got to take that money and got to the money the raise that they gave you, you got to take that and use it to try to help you with your groceries. And then you got to look at prescriptions. So, a lot of times Medicaid and even some medications with Medicaid don't pay for all types of prescriptions.
Right.
So sometimes you have to come out of their pocket with prescriptions. So we gotta do better with that work. I just think we need to work on that as far as people already living below the poverty level, and then you take away the government give them a raise, and then the government takes the SNAP benefits from them. So
now, how informed are people getting this information? Because a lot of times, particularly with our elderly, they don't have readily access to computers and those kinds of things, and getting notifications in the mail to indicate a lot of this information, or is a lot of it having to be just listening out with media and kind of seeing what's happening?
Well, coming up to Medicare enrollment, you couldn't even, I know I couldn't, my phone, every time you turn around, the phone was ringing. So they had, it's through the media, different people. But at the same time, there's a lot of different agencies out there, but a lot of time people are still not familiar with those agencies if they don't come to them, or if they don't hear it on the radio, or they don't hear it on television. A lot of times they're still not aware. You would be amazed at how many people that are eligible for benefits, but they're not receiving them because they don't even know how to go about receiving in those type of benefits. And that's one thing that I can say, Mr. Dumas, before I retired and working in that, I tried to do my best to help uh, people that were not aware of, and to make sure I educated them on. I can remember. I don't know if you remember the Heal Burden program. That used to be a program where if you had medical bills at a healthcare facility, then there was money that they gave to the particular county to help patients pay the medical bill. Well, a lot of times people of color were not even aware
That,
about it. So, by me having information, I would get out in the community and I would say, look, y'all need to apply for these benefits if you got medical bills. So a lot of times people know things, but they just don't share it. They don't give information. And we got, God, I don't think God meant for people to live, to be poor and to be able to not afford their medications, special medication, any type of medication, but especially medication that's on a level of maintenance, like medication for diabetes, high blood pressure, heart medication. Sometimes you have no idea how time people struggle with trying to get their medications on a daily basis, or I mean on a monthly basis, getting their medications. I'm just glad that Senator or not not Senator Warnock, Congressman Warnock introduced the bill to put a cap on um, the insulin for medications for diabetes. So that was a great thing because we do have a lot of people that have to have that maintenance medication.
right. And you talking, life and death, on a daily type situation. A person has to have these types of meds daily in order to
Right,
survive,
right.
you know. Um,
And sometimes it just breaks my heart because when you work in this kind of stuff, even though when I was working at the Department of Family Children Services, I was no longer with Atrium Health. But if I had a client that came across my uh within the process of me interviewing them, and I saw that they were had some type of medical problems that warranted maybe applying for disability, I would actually get on the phone and call and say, I got somebody here in my office that we may need. I want to refer them to you to look to see if they're maybe eligible for disability and apply for disability for them. So, at the hospital. So, even though when you have that type of information, you need to share it with people and try to help folks because, like I say, in working in healthcare and in working in with the Department of Family and Children Services, you see a lot of things. You see a lot of things, and you just don't want people to have to suffer and have to make a choice between paying for their medication or buying food.
right. Because number one, as an individual, we can relate to having to purchase medication sometimes that you only take, one time, or you may not take it on a regular basis, but medications are so expensive, and
It is.
they can cut
It
into a
is.
person's budget, quite a bit.
And depending on what type of medical problems you have, sometimes the Medicare nor Medicaid, like I said, even pays for these
Right.
prescriptions. And then a lot of times that's why a lot of time people get sick because they can't afford the medication, they don't get it, and they really need it. And if you don't know what to do in order to, because there are pharmaceutical uh, companies out there. It used to be a form that your physician would have to sign. And I don't even know if they even do that anymore. But it used to be if for example, Medicaid didn't pay for a prescription. If it was a medical necessity for you to have that prescription, then your doctor would have to fill out that form and send it in, and then get it approved. But I don't know if even people take that necessary step to go that far anymore. Even with I don't even know what hospitals offer the state cancer program anymore, where you can people with cancer related illnesses. There's programs out there that will help people pay for their outpatient um, uh, and their medication. So it's a lot of things available. I just think that a lot of people of color are not aware of what they're in the benefits that's out there, and then they go without.
Right, because knowledge is power, and even sometimes with different forums that we put on for people to come out and to learn about certain things, you don't get the type of participation that's needed to kind
Right.
of spread
You know,
information, and so
yeah,
people that will have to take it upon themselves to have the initiative and the wherewithal to seek out information, because it's a very critical
right,
time, and particularly now with open enrollment as it relates to certain healthcare companies,
right,
coverage.
right,
Um, a
right.
lot of people don't know their
And
coverage runs out.
yeah, and I don't know if you saw on the news this past weekend about how a lot of the claims, you got different companies that offers the Medicare Advantage. And I don't know if you saw on the news this weekend where they were saying that a lot of the people that have Medicare Advantage coverage, their claims are being denied.
Wow.
Their claims are being denied, and so that's something that people are looking into. And it was actually one doctor's office that actually patients that his business had basically
A large percentage of those.
a lot of his business had actually dropped because of the Medicare Advantage plan. So it was one patient there, she was not able to go to that particular doctor anymore because Medicare Advantage plan was denying her claim. So what she made a decision to do is, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. I don't know if this happened to anybody, but what she was saying is she, because with your Medicare Advantage, you don't even you keep your Medicare card with you, but you don't even have to use your Medicare card. You just use the Medicare Advantage card. But she made a choice to not even use the Medicare Advantage. She went to using her regular Medicare. And so that's something that they're looking into, the level of claims that's being denied by these Medicare Advantage plans, because you got different agencies like Blue Cross, Aetna, all these different uh, uh, companies um, that are sponsoring this the Medicare Advantage plan. So, that was a big thing on the news this weekend where they were denying a lot of people claims, and you got to change doctors or figure out why they're denying your claims, and you can't your bills that you have to these facilities, they're not paying them.
Wow.
So hopefully they're looking into that. So we just have to be mindful, because a lot of times our seniors get taken advantage of because they don't know, and sometimes people prey on our elderly.
Right, and you get a lot of. I know even with my phone, being 64 and getting close to turning 65, you get a lot of texts and phone calls from supposedly licensed
Yeah,
agents to try to get you
right,
to sign up for various programs,
right,
and a
right.
lot of times you don't know what you're getting. you
No,
really don't know what you're getting.
yeah, and I want people to understand too. Another thing, um, sometimes I can remember a situation where a young man, yeah, well, he wasn't a young man, had turned, and people need to. You cannot never have worked before, and sometimes people are, they apply for disability and they deny them. That's why I tell people you gotta. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and people don't know. If you don't know, you just don't know. But um, when I can kind of get busy, I'm gonna try to be able to help in people with that. But you have to appeal every time they deny you for your disability. You have to appeal it. I think you have 60 days to appeal it, but a lot of people don't. Once they deny them, that's what they count on them not appealing it. So if you don't appeal it, you have to start all over again. But if you appeal it, what happens is once you approve, they're gonna start back from the first date that you appeal,
Exactly.
and not from the date. But if you don't appeal it, then you just like you starting all over again. And most of the time, attorneys will not even take a disability case unless you've been denied by a physician at least 2 times. I mean, not a physician, unless you've been denied by the Social Security office twice before an attorney will even take the case. But then that's why people give up. They've been denied once, they've been denied twice, and then they don't try to They don't try to appeal it. And so, but you gotta, if you think that you're disabled, you need to uh, continue to appeal and then reach out to some attorneys that handles disability claims.
Right, because it's a lot for an individual to try to do on their own, and not
It is.
seek legal
It is.
advice.
Right. And some of these hospitals have agencies in the hospital. If you go into a hospital, you don't even even if you go into the emergency room and depending on how much your bill is when you go in the emergency room and you know that you're sick. If you can actually, they have agencies in these hospitals, a lot of these hospitals across Georgia that will apply for disability for you. They basically do everything. They apply, they do the appeal, they do the whole process. When it's time for you to go to court, they have someone there to act on your behalf. So they have agencies in the hospitals that will do this for you. A lot of people are not aware of that, and to my understanding, you're supposed to. I don't know what they have in the hospitals now, but I'm assuming that they still have like financial counsels that come in to do an assessment to see, if you have insurance or different things like that to actually make referrals. So that's what we used to do. What we would interview people and offer indigent assistance to them. But during that process of interviewing, if we saw that, um, discover that someone was actually disabled or had a medical condition that warranted maybe an application for disability, we would do referrals to make sure that those people applications got processed um, for disability, or even the state cancer program, people that had cancer related illnesses. We would do applications to make and get them submitted to make sure to see if they could get approved. So and I guess that's why I'm like I am even with the NAACP, because I've always worked in in something dealing with social work, helping folks. It's just rewarding when you can help somebody and have they have a better um better outcome. Like I say, I don't think God intended for us to be poor. Um, but a lot of times people have knowledge and they don't share it, and then if you can help somebody, you do that. You help somebody.
Right, and it's been said that you shouldn't be denied care from the inability to pay. But we know that if you
It
don't have, it
happens.
happens. If you don't have good
Yeah.
insurance,
They send you home early,
right?
and then they don't do all the testing that they would do if I've seen it all, so I know it happens. Nobody can tell me that it don't happen, because it does happen.
Absolutely.
So just tell people to pay attention. Sometimes people, when people in facilities like that, and that's how come I said the NAACP been advocating for health care and all this in equal health care and equal education, all that. We've been doing this for a very long time, because no one should be denied health care because of their inability to pay. Not especially, we have private hospitals, but we have hospitals that receive state and federal monies.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
some years ago, and probably even now, people had issues with when they used to have what they call the Affordable Care Act, and they called it Obamacare.
Right.
And
Right.
and people,
And when you go to the for doctor's office, they don't want to take it because they say it's open, but it's affordable health care. And
right,
people I just I think it was just because of who introduced it, and they wouldn't even call it affordable
right,
health care. Yeah. So it's crazy. We experienced a lot of that too. I've experienced it because I think I had Blue Cross Blue Shield at one point, and then they would ask me, "Is this affordable? Is this Obamacare?" And I'm like, "Well, would it make a difference?
right. You
Would it make a difference if it's yeah?" So I said, "Well, it's not Obamacare, it's affordable care, but no, it's not affordable care. I have insurance with my employer, but yeah, a lot of doctors would not treat patients that had affordable health care." What do you think about? I want to kind of, because we're almost out of time, but We got this thing still going on, this stuff in the media with the district attorney, and I think she's issued a statement um, regarding Desmond Brown.
Right.
And I think people took I know people have taken what he said out of content. Not everybody, but some people, and probably at some point he probably, you know, probably will say something, hopefully. But um, this is what's not making sense to me, Mr. Dumas. If you now this is that once uh, 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 board member Brown got up and made this statement, because I really believe that he was just basically giving a testimony,
Right.
saying, I don't supposed to be here. Everything that I've been through, I didn't supposed to be here, and that he made a statement, and not saying the DA did anything wrong to help him, but the fact that she's the type of person, she ran on integrity and all of that when she ran for office, and that's what he was basically saying, the way I took it.
Right.
But David Cook has taken it as though he broke the law, and she helped him break the law by not prosecuting him. She knew that he was. That's not what happened. This is the thing. I think there was an agenda when Mr. Cook started out with this. I think he had an agenda, and when he started investigating this stuff, his agenda overcrowded the facts and the evidence in the case. He stopped looking for the facts and the evidence because he had an agenda. Now, how does the district attorney, he say he's not running again, but if he can make DA Howard look bad and have people create doubt that she's done something wrong, he will run, but he just know he can't beat her. if he just run a fair fight. But this is the thing. How is it that DA Howard did something wrong when you never turned your investigation over to the sheriff? You never turned it in to the district attorney. And even after she made an announcement last year that no information had been brought to her and she would not be prosecute the case, nothing still was not turned in to her regarding Desmond Brown.
Wow.
So how is it that she did something wrong when nothing was never brought to her to even do anything wrong? She never handled the case, never had any type of dealings, or no information with the case. It's not making sense. Make it make sense, Mr. Cook.
Right. If, as you mentioned, something should have been presented. If somebody has found something that's,
if you believe he broke the law,
right? Exactly.
But he's a seasoned prosecutor, just as DA Howard said. He's a seasoned prosecutor, and he knows the process.
Right.
That if you believe someone is broken the law, you send your investigation to the sheriff. The sheriff is the one that bring the charges, and the district attorney prosecutes. It don't go straight to the prosecutor.
No.
Now, you know what? I'm not gonna. Maybe that's what happened when he was in office. Maybe that's the way it worked. That's the way he. Maybe that's the way he did it. If somebody investigated, they brought it to him. They just skipped the sheriff. They just made a phone call to him and went through him. Maybe that's how they did it.
Wow.
It's not making sense for he's basically trying to make her look bad and making it seem, make the people think. But the people got sense. They know that
there's certain procedures that are followed.
Yeah, and then he's on TV talking about he don't know why she coming now and want to prosecute because you made such a stink about it.
I got a comment I want to read real quick. I know we run out of time, but it says he is putting his narrative in the media so that when it is time for a campaign, he can refer to this, and it appears that it is true when it's not. That's a comment from
right, but he's trying to create doubt in people's minds. That's what, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Well, we run out of time, but we thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you on next week. Hope you have happy holidays.
Thank you so much for listening.
Absolutely. Until next.
Feel better, Maria Bryant.
Absolutely, Maria. Take care.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwinnett Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers.